International world-dominating pandemic. Will it stop us drinking tea? No, it won't. Here he is, Warlord Zaz. There he is. What are we doing today, sir?
We are hopefully playing a strategic, tactical and balanced game of Warhammer 40,000, but strategic, tactical and balanced in Warhammer 40,000.
We're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see. We're going to give it a go. We're going to give it the
look at 9th edition.
Yes, absolutely. But, you know, we're willing to have our minds, aren't we, opened. What are the sides?
Right. I am taking a detachment of Blood Angels today, and I'm facing an evil army of Eldar Harlequins.
So the good guys. Yes, very good, very good. Let's look at the armies. Oh, and we're at Manor Flux in Newcastle under Lyme. Look, staff there, all safe with their masks on. Show me these new Blood Angels. There's so many new models here as well.
A battalion of Blood Angels.
Yep.
Most of the models are from the Indomodus box set, which, if you missed it, you did miss out because they are beautiful models.
There we go.
So we have Primaris Captain. He has the Warlord trait, Speed of the Primarch, so he always fights first in close combat.
Ew.
We have a Primaris Lieutenant. He is wearing the Adamantine Mantle. We have a Standard Chaplain whose jump pack I forgot to glue on.
It's his faith, holding him up.
Look at this little old metal Chaplain model.
Beautiful. Classic.
He has a thing that gives him the black range, which I spent a command point on.
Yep.
Then we have a Justicar. I don't normally upgrade my characters, but all the characters have had upgrades today, so it's unusual for me.
Because we have a plethora of command points now, don't we, to upgrade things? So.
Well, it's also I actually want to see my characters do something because they all look heroic, so I thought I'd heroify them.
Very good.
Then we go on to our main units. We have 2 5-man squads of Primaris Assault Intercessors, a 10-man tactical squad with Hand Flamers, Flamer and Heavy Flamer.
It's a lot of Flamer.
Yeah, they're just pretty. A 5-man Reaver squad with Grab Shoots. A 3-man Outrider squad, which, because they're Primaris, you can't upgrade in any way, shape or form, and they're new.
Oh, they need a thing.
1 unit of Stern Guard with Power Sword, 3 special issue bolt guns, Combi Grav and Grav.
Wow.
Blade Guard Ancient and 3 Blade Guard Veterans. 10 Death Company with Thunderhammer, Power Fist, 2.
There's a lot of them have gone wrong, haven't they? Proportionally.
Yep.
My goodness, this chap's in trouble, isn't it?
It's the curse.
My goodness.
Storm Raven gunship.
Oh, I forgot. Yes, I didn't see that there. It was so small. Yes, very good.
Assault cannons.
It's got the cyclone bolters.
And 2 heavy bolters.
Yeah. So lots of anti-infantry there.
Yeah, none of which are actually glued onto the model because I'm still trying to have different choices.
No, they're obviously recessed, aren't they? Recessed for their drop. For the drop from orbit, so yes, absolutely.
That and the model keeps on falling apart, believe it or not.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh.
And finally, a unit of those that everybody loves, 3 Primaris Blaggerators.
You can't say it anymore. You can't. You're having trouble there, aren't you? Having trouble saying. Are they the ones with the multi-melters that?
No, they don't have a multi-melter.
Oh, okay.
Multi-melters are not as good as what they have.
Oh, I see. Go on, explain to me what they do then.
So they have the equivalent of a multi-melter.
Equivalents.
But they can run up the board and shoot twice with it. It's an assault weapon that if they all target the same unit, they get to shoot again.
Right, so it's a double firing,
it's a double tap
move and fire multi-melter. How many points is that?
It's a massive, including the model, which is I think a 3 wound toughness 5 model.
Right.
Including that obviously underpowered model.
Obviously.
That's a massive 40 points.
40 points, nice.
Points
I'm surprised there aren't chapters full of these things.
Well, apparently some sort of weird space lizard chapter, these are quite common in it now.
And so on to the Harlequin. So I'm just getting used to all these new rules as well, because just before 9th edition came out, we had a kind of psychic awakening afterthought. They put it in White Dwarf rather than a Psychic Awakening, so we did get some new rules. So we've got kind of 9th edition and these to consider, so I'm a little bit confused, so apologies in advance if I get anything wrong. So should we start? It's a battalion, so we start with 12 CP, so I maintain 12 CP. We've got 2 Troop Masters and 2 Shadow Seers leading the army. One's the Warlord. I'm going to take the Great Harlequin. I've never had the CPs for doing that before, so I'm going to do that. There we go, for the reroll of 1 to hit in combat. He's a choreographer of war, so it's oh no, actually he will wound on 2s, I think is his other power. Yeah, and he's got a special blade. So each turn you add the turn number to the number of attacks he gets. So if he were somehow, some miracle, survived to turn 5, he'd get a lot of attacks. You'd literally add that to the number that he gets. So that's quite good, isn't it? I'm gonna go with that. I think it's +2 to his strength, but that doesn't matter because he wounds on 2s anyway. And -3 to armor, but that's pretty normal. It's the extra attacks, I think, that's the thing. The Shadow Seers, we've got the protection from harm, obviously, because it's really good. We've also got another power that I think it adds 6 inches to the range of weapons firing against it. I don't see that being as a huge thing today. We're using lots of terrain, so we're going to be quite close, but we'll see if that works. See if it can at least mitigate rapid fire shots, etc. So there we go. There's the characters. We've got an elite section as well. So we've got a solitaire. I'm still meandering on what to give him. Might just keep him with Blitz. Might give him the power that allows him to redeploy at the beginning of the turn. Actually, I better make the decision. We're gonna go with that one. He can start off the board essentially. We'll go for that one. There we go. We've got 2 death.
Off the board is always good.
Always good for free. Then we've got 2 Death Jesters. So 1 Death Jester has the upgraded Shrieker Cannon, Agareth's Lament. Oh, I say. So that increases the mortal wound count to a unit that is struck by. So I think it increases the range as well. And we're going to give the Harvester of Torment power to that Death Jester as well. So that increases the number of hits that you get when you do successfully hit. I think it times it by 3. So yes, so if you hit once, you'll get 3 hits out of it. And we're going to give Humbling Cruelty as a power to the other Death Jester and no war gear for him. There we go. So on to the main body of the troops. I hope this army's not becoming too character heavy. I hope it's not. I'm not making the army into Hero Hammer, but it's just an experiment today. So hopefully we can mellow out in future games. Just 6 of the Harlequin jet bikes. I've got 12. It's a bit excessive, I think. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe I'll have to. I think maybe the way the game's going, I'll have to use more of those in future. But just 6 today, just to, again, experiment with how they work in the new system. There are a few tricks and stratagems that you can use with them, I think. So they may be useful. Their agility is going to be very important. They're also a blast weapon. So that can help against more numerous foes. And then we've got 6 units of troops, 6 troops of troops. Troops of troopers. So we've got 6 troops of troopers, all different weapons, so that I can fit into the points restrictions. 2,000 points for today, and then transports for all of those. There are lots of thoughts on the internet out there, on YouTube, etc., on how armies are being put together. I'm not that clever, so I'm just going with a good mix of what I can bring. So there we go, 2,000 points. Let's set the table up. Have to sit on the objective for a turn, and no enemy units have to be there.
Yep.
There we go.
The objectives are actually massively important.
Yes.
Because
there's no chance of me defending an objective, however. So there we go. So it's going to be how we can swill around each other and either defend our objectives if we can, knock other people off, or indeed strike deeply into enemy territory and destroy their objectives to nullify any advantage they have the rest of the game. Are you choosing secondary objectives, sir?
I am.
Oh, tell us about those.
First off, I'm going to choose Raise for a laugh.
Good.
Which is the one where I have to destroy
the objectives, yeah.
Bring it down.
Bring it down, okay. So
Meaning
that's
I get
killing vehicles and
points
stuff.
for each vehicle
yeah.
I kill.
I've got 6 of those, so that's really a useful one.
For 4 victory points at the
Line
end of the
breaker.
turn, if 2 or more units from my army, excluding aircraft, are wholly within my opponent's deployment.
Well, I was thinking line breaker as well. So I think I'm going to go for line breaker as well. We'll go for the psychic investigation one.
Mental interrogation.
Yeah, I'm mixed feelings, aren't I? Because it gets rid of my entire psychic phase.
For one model.
For one model, for 3 victory points. So I'm going to give it a go because it's interesting. I don't know if it's the best.
Well, you don't have to do it. You've got the choice of not doing it.
Well, absolutely, yes. I can still kill things with the psychic.
And then you were going to go for repair, teleport, Homer as well, was it?
Teleport, Homer as well. Yes, let's do that.
So you're not going to get victory points from blowing up my objectives then?
But can I still blow up the objectives?
You can still do it. You just don't get victory points for it.
I say I don't think I can hold objectives.
And this is where
I'm not confident I can do it. You see.
And this is where I think that these secondary objectives is really good, because now we have to choose what we're going to individually concentrate on.
Yes.
Still have the same primary.
Absolutely. I mean, you're going to get a lot of victory points from getting objectives because there's not much I can do about them. But I don't have enough. I've got 30 men, some bikes to hold lots of objectives. So maybe my naivety in the game, maybe I'm perfectly capable of holding those objectives. I don't see it though. I don't see it.
Well, with only 4 objectives on the table.
Indeed, standing still and letting blood angels charge you. I'm not an expert on this game, but I think that's a bad idea.
I've heard so.
I've heard
the same about Harlequins.
Well, indeed, absolutely. So, I just think that would become a rugby scrum in the second turn, and not very interesting.
Or, knowing more of us, a desperate avoidance of each other.
Absolutely, quite. So there we go. Those are going to be our objectives for the game. So we will roll off.
Right. Yeah.
So it's alternate setup, but I'm guessing that we roll to see who starts that process. Is that how it works?
So first off, what we do is we determine the attacker and defender.
There we go.
Which you need to know your power level for.
I don't know my power level.
It's about riders there.
Here's the battlefield as it begins. Yeah, very dense terrain. We've got the objectives, haven't we? Where are they? Warlord Zaz. 1 there.
2.
1 there.
3.
1 there.
And 4.
It's denoted by kind of flat cannons that we're trying to either destroy or get operational. So we've got to take them. You've chosen to also destroy mine as well for extra points. So we're going to see how that goes as well. So we're in the middle of setup now. We're set up, ready to go. We've got a castle of power here with Blade Guard. Are they the Death Company there?
They are.
Leaders and everything essentially over here. So the majority of the force is here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well over 2/3 of it is castled around this objective.
He likes that objective, so he's going to keep that and then strike out from there, which he has the ability to do. It's with a ground-pounding army, that's what you've got to do, is consolidate first and then move forward. However, he does have a force on the right. You've got your horrific Storm Raven there.
Yep.
And what's that? Some assault troops.
Assault intercessors,
Excellent.
so they're actually troops choice.
And is there anything else over there? Is that the lot?
This has...
It's got something in it, is it?
Yes. A squad of tactical marines in it.
Flamer-wielding loons.
Yep, and ready to deep strike, we have the Reavers over here.
Of course. And the Reavers do what?
They're basically the same as those, but they've got grenades that can stop people overwatching.
Oh, they're the ones with the skull masks.
Yeah.
We know them. Yes,
They're a cheap debuffing throwaway unit.
Yeah.
That don't really do much damage.
No, and in the new system, can deep strike occur in the first turn?
Nope.
No, so second turn is when that will happen. That's good. It's good for me to know as well.
It has to be done by the third.
So I've split the force along a wide front essentially, so maybe that's a mistake. I've just put we've got guys over here, and there's we've got Death Jesters in transports there with their troops, and then we've got Troop Master and Shadow Seers in some of the central ones there. Then we've got bikes, a transport, some troops, and a Shadow Seer outside to give them a bit of protection with his auras there. So I won't say I've got as coherent an idea of deployment as Warlord Zaz, so we'll see how that pans out, shall we? Yes. Good. And then we've got some pre-battle things to do, haven't we? So we're rolling off to see who's going first before we do our pre-game sequence. Go for it.
1,
and I get
2.
Hey! So you choose first, essentially, don't you?
You go first.
I go first, do I? I'm not sure I want to go first. It's just random. It doesn't actually matter.
It declares whether they will take first or second turn, so you get to choose.
I think you take first. Oh, hang on. Oh, I don't know. I know not.
Trust your feelings.
Oh, I don't have feelings. I'm a Harlequin. Emotions caused immeasurable difficulties thousands of years ago, didn't they? Millennia ago.
I believe Harlequins had one emotion, and that was humour.
I'm going to let him go first because I think I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Okay, so but pre-game sequence first.
Using
You're spending
Forlorn Fury,
right.
which costs 2 command points.
Okay.
And happens before the actual battle round begins.
Yeah.
And
He's going to move.
My death company
Ooh, I
as
say.
if it's the movement phase,
Such shenanigans.
including any advancing.
Ooh,
So,
it's pretty horrid, isn't it?
so they move, I believe,
It's horrible.
12.
Okay, so you get a free move essentially. We'll come back after.
Yes,
Look at this
before the
underhanded
battle round.
imperial trick. They're moving before the game even begins, and he's using his unit that moves really far, which is his death guard. So they've gone up and planted themselves in this tall structure here, ready to pounce upon my flank.
Indeed.
And if he gets first go, which I've given him, he'll just get there, won't he? He'll just get all of his buffs and wonderful close combat ability, and he'll be able to do it in the first turn. So how
that's
many?
the plan.
Yeah, absolutely. So how many CPs does that cost you?
2.
Excellent. So you're down to 8 now.
7.
7. Oh, goodness. Oh, he's down to what I am. Good. So that terrible trick that shouldn't be allowed. Moving before the game starts. So I'm going to do it as well. Excellent.
Sounds fair.
So I can do it too. So for 3 CP, using 2 different stratagems, I can move up to 4 units.
You see, I can only use it on Death Company.
That's right.
And only use it
Yeah.
once per game.
No, so I'm going to do it. So I'm going to move. I'm going to essentially. He's done this to me, so I'm going to move this stuff out the way. Because obviously it's in danger. That's obviously what he's going for. So I'm just going to move it out of the way because I'm scared. After
not
shenanigans,
quite sure
I've just
about.
set everything up over here. So essentially,
Not white scars.
I've moved aside from this
I want to say
this
Howling Griffins,
thrust.
but I know they're orange or something.
I think he was going to try and hold me up on this flank here. Until his
you were
assault guys
successful?
got to me, so I've kind of dodged out of the way, but I've moved everything, I've condensed everything very much here. So what Warlord Zaz has now is essentially the pick of targets with his flyer, so I am still vulnerable, I think. So on to the first turn. Eager, so the Storm Ravens gone forwards to the bikes. That was inevitable, I think. The assault insetters there, pretty much they've moved a little bit out into the open, but they pretty much stay where they are. So the Death Company have come down from the tower here into the centre. They're very strong move forward, that is, with their chaplain as well. The bike's up behind them as well, so that's quite a powerful punch force there. And essentially that objective's pretty much theirs now, I would say. And the other line, the castle line here, has just moved forward a little bit in support. So, it's punch. If I counter that, it gets punched back by the supporting force. So a powerful first move, on to shooting. The Storm Raven unleashes a torrent of fire and kills 2 Harlequin jet bikes. Ooh, nasty. Not much else in range yet, so the Death Company and Chaplain shoot at this here transport, don't actually do anything, so now we're going to go into the charge phase and the close combat phase, so let's see what happens there.
Okay.
Turn 1, well advanced, not a lot of damage yet. 2 jet bikes, that's bad. That is bad. That is pretty bad. Because I was really relying on them to try and take out the Storm Raven. So you've won the battle of the flyers there so far. I have avoided a big punch there, however. I think the bikes certainly wouldn't have survived the Death Company's charge. In addition to the Storm Raven, I think they would have gone and they would have been dead. The Chaplain leapt into combat with the transport here, with the Harlequin transport. Essentially, spent loads of command points doing lots of damage to it, but actually only managed 3 wounds off two wounds off of the 6 wound vehicle. So I was really lucky there. It even spent extra even spent extra CP to fight again with a power fist, so that was tremendously unlucky. Doing 6 wounds in all, but I saved 4 of them with the invulnerable save. So actually, I did slightly better than statistically likely there. And I think you just fluffed the damage rolls. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that was a pity. Okay, so it's my turn now, I think. In Harlequin, turn 1, I essentially completely refuse this flank. Just evacuate my right, Warlord Zaz's left. I think he's too powerful for me there. He's ranked up beautifully with lots of short range firepower, and I just can't avoid it anymore with the with the limits to the defensive capabilities I have now. So I've refused that flank, and I'm going to pick on this Storm Raven and that assault unit there in the hope of achieving something. I don't know if I will, but that's all I can hope. And think about what to do next turn. It was quite good. It was quite a good shooting phase. We're in the middle of it now, but the Death Jester was a little bit successful. So he shot his
all week.
Yeah.
All week.
I've been worried. I've been
Mr.
concerned.
Magic Candy has been saying that Harlequins are underpowered.
Well, I've been concerned.
All week.
Yeah, it's a concern.
Actually, for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
We'll not go there.
Concerned.
We are not even halfway through his shooting phase.
First turn.
First turn, halfway through his shooting phase, 15 mortal wounds.
But it wasn't the bikes that did it. If you think about
Two units
it.
dead.
Yeah. Yeah, you would expect.
15 mortal wounds.
Yeah, you would expect that if I.
Mortal.
Okay, so
50 mortal wounds.
the bikes did some more.
Mortal.
The bikes did some
50
mortal wounds. But
50 mortal wounds. 50 mortal wounds. 15 mortal wounds.
It's quite. I mean, there's a little bit of mortal wound spam in the Harlequins nowadays, isn't there? So the Storm Raven came down under the bikes, but actually not just under the bikes. My Shadow Seer also had to smite it,
Causing one wound.
causing one wound. It was a mortal wound, and
Sorry, I forgot that. 16
it
mortal
was a mortal wound.
wounds.
And
16
but
mortal
what
wounds.
actually brought it down was a party
16
boat.
mortal wounds.
Yeah, it was a party boat full of fusion pistols. That's actually what brought it down, wasn't it?
No, it was 7 mortal wounds from the Haywire.
It was the one fusion pistol that hit and rolled max on its damage, I think, was what brought it down, if I remember correctly.
Nope, that did the initial.
Oh, no, that came last. Because that rolled 6, and that did for it. Oh, yes. And then the tactical Marines got out, moved into this building here, and of course everything that was running past just naturally was there, just shot into them, including a Death Jester at the end, which just wiped the rest of them out with its combination of new special rules. Doing a few mortal wounds, which was quite good, I'm sure. So anyway, on with my shooting phase. I'm not finished yet. By being a complete coward and evacuating over there, getting away. You can see how far away they are. That's why I'm filming this from this distance, to show you how far away from the Marines I want to be. He's still got a lot of stuff that could make it to my lines, but I think he would kind of drag himself out doing it. So he will have to make a decision about whether he wants to do that. So what I've done is I've refused the flank. I've pulled all my troops around here, killed the Storm Raven, I think it's called, the tactical squad, as we've explained, came out, sat in this building here, and was mortal wounded to death by Death Jesters, fusion pistols, just a fusillade of fire from assaulted transports and the troops upon them. And the assault intercessors just didn't stand much chance against 2 transports full of troops with assorted weapons and supporting fire from other shuriken cannons. So that's that flank cleared, essentially. So I don't really score a lot, I don't think. We'll have to see what I score, if anything, but I've cleared that flank. So we've got stuff to do for the rest of the game now. I've got some space in which to manoeuvre. However, Warlord Zaz also has space to manoeuvre. He's got less troops, so that does put him against it, but he's got room to manoeuvre, and this is certainly very secure for him. And he's going to destroy my objective there and gain victory points for that.
I can't do that this turn.
No, you've got to camp it, haven't you, for a turn, that's right. But worth doing, because it's free and easy victory points that I can't interfere with this turn, so it's well worth doing, I would say. Great, so I think we're going to go on and see if anyone scored anything.
With my unit,
Indeed.
I've knocked 2 of your models off the board.
Yes, I've lost 2 models, 3 units dead for the Space Marines, but we've actually, and this is part of the new game, we haven't scored any victory points yet. Because I haven't got anything over in your area enough, is that right?
Correct.
So none of my units have penetrated into Warlord Zaz's deployment zone. I've got no characters near that I can psychically look at for my other secondary objective, and I haven't been able to stop and do anything and repair that teleport homer. So I don't score anything this turn either. I think I've got an opportunity to do that next turn, but then we've got other stuff to come on as well, and I'm sure I think you've got a unit, haven't you, that's still off board, which may be able to do things. So we'll see what happens next turn. On to turn 2. Not taken aback by the destruction on his right flank. you've moved the castle and swung it round to face this way. Would that be accurate?
It would.
Because there's an impending charge now that Warlord Zaz would expect from the Eldari on that side. The company, the Death Company. I'm learning. I tell you, I'm learning. Have advanced here. I don't know if they advanced in the technical term, but they've moved forward and squarely have the objective there in their hands, as have the bikers. The bikers, with a lot of firepower, are worried about getting pounced on and killed before they can use that firepower, so they're staying safe for the moment. There we go, that's the movement phase. Stern guard there, not baited out to come forward. Shot from behind the cover, nice and safely. 2 wounds to the transport there. With a mixture of the special bolt guns and the grav weapons. So that was an uncomfortable ride for the troop in there. That's the end. There's not much more for Warlord Zaz to do, but interestingly, of course, this is a game of objectives now. So he only shot one thing and did a couple of wounds, but has now leapt up in victory points at the end of his second turn. So tell us what's occurring there.
Off, I get line breaker.
Line breaker.
At the end of my turn 2, because 2 or more units are wholly within Andy's deployment zone.
Excellent.
I also, at the end of my command phase, got 5 victory points because I got 1 objective marker. If I had 2 at the end of the command phase, that would have been an extra 5 as well.
Excellent, well done.
And because at that point I controlled more than you, because you had 0, I get another 5. So I've gone to 10, 11, 14 victory points.
So yeah, well ahead, well ahead. So although I've got a dominant feeling of the battlefield in that I've destroyed units, I'm well behind. I haven't developed any strategy for getting victory points yet, so I don't know where they're going to come from. So we shall see. Beginning of turn 2. Here's how the battlefield looks. There we are. I have again just moved a lot. I kind of wanted to continue the charge around this corner, but I don't like that castle. It's got a lot of powerful close combat characters there that are just going to counter-charge me in the next turn. And I don't like it. I don't like it. So what I've done is I've moved stuff back over here to try and engage this horrible little punch here. And I've moved 2 things over there so that I can catch this and actually get some objective stuff going this turn as well. So let's see if I can shoot effectively. I'm not sure I'm going to wipe out all of that, so I think I'm in for a bruising next turn, but we'll see how it goes. So shooting, I feel I've taken the bait in a way. I mean, there may have been better targets, as my jet bikes and the Death Jester in the transport had a go at the Death Company. Have I got it right this time? Death Company. I keep calling them Death Guard because I know nothing. So they've wiped the Death Guard out, but the Chaplain, the Smash Chaplain of Doom, and the bikes are still very much alive. So there's still considerable firepower there. I don't know. As I speak, I think actually the Death Company would have been really horrible. Actually, I think maybe it was the right decision. We'll soon see. We'll soon see, as those bikes get a lot of attacks. So let's see what Warlord Zaz does now. We're on to the Space Marine side here. The what unit is this there, Warlord Zaz?
Stern Guard.
The Stern Guard have moved forward into the fortifications that cut the battlefield in half, and then they're moving up over here. They've captured this objective. They're milking the points out of it. So they've supported them with some assault intercessors there, and the Smash Chaplain, I believe it's called in modern 40k parlance, has moved forward to threaten the advance of the Harlequins on this flank. There we go, on to the shooting phase. Turn 3 shooting phase for the Space Marines, for the Blood Angels. Doesn't like me calling them Space Marines, they're Blood Angels apparently. It's better than Space Marines. Stern Guard sadly don't hit, oh, no, I think they hit but don't wound the transport there.
1 shot, hit and didn't wound.
There we go, and nothing from the Chaplain, who also did a crack grenade, I think, into the and failed to wound.
Oh no, sorry, the armour save.
Armour save. There we go. Brilliant. Okay.
And those guys bolters didn't.
Oh yes, the Reavers bolt pistols sadly failed to wound the jet bikes. Okay, on to the charge. The Chaplain easily made it into combat, only needing a 4 to roll. Did that. Shaved off 4 of 6 wounds to the transport there. So that's not looking clever anymore, I would say. So, but still, it escaped. So I guess I have to be thankful for that. The Reavers sadly whiffed. Well, no, they didn't whiff. I think he did 6 wounds to me, I think. And I rolled 5 4 pluses, which is statistically unlikely. So I think I super-passed the saves. So,
so one of them has taken a wound.
Yeah. Which one's? Yes, absolutely, yes, yeah. So the bikes there attacked back and actually killed 2 of the intercessors. Intercessors, is that what they're called? Reavers, sorry, there we go. I'm learning this Space Marine lingo. So that's not bad. Passed their leadership test. You would expect Space Marines to do that. Brilliant. It's not well advised, but I've got some people out there. Out they go with their attendant Shadow Seer, and they're going to just hunker down there for a little bit. I don't know what they're going to do yet, but they need to do a bit of a psychic. They need to do a bit of a ritual there. I think there's a teleport homer behind there actually.
Oh,
I think that's what they're doing, isn't it? So I think they're going to try and fix that.
Yeah, next turn.
Yeah, next turn. And there's a couple of other things that can do that too. So there's a troop transport there as well. The Reavers are being stared down now. The bikes have fallen back from them, the jet bikes, and they've been joined to add a bit of extra firepower should it be needed by this transport that's dropped off this unit of troops and Shadow Seer to go and threaten this here chaplain. Maybe it's overkill. I don't think it is. I think you've got to be careful of chaplains. You'd be surprised how consistently they can survive things. This transport here has moved forward to maybe start shooting at the bikes there, but it's got a troop unit still in it just in case that chaplain needs finishing off. It's staying close. This transport also moving forward to attack these bikes. Do you think I'm scared of those bikes? I think I might be. My warlord there and his attendant troop units have strode forwards. I think we'll be better at this point in the game. I don't know if it's the tactically best thing to do, but certainly the most cinematic. And the Solitaire has stepped from the shimmering into reality and hopes, not certain, to maybe take up a charge against the assault intercessors there, or perhaps the bikes there. We'll see how the shooting phase goes, shall we? Brilliant. Okay, off we go. So shooting, we did quite well against the stern guard here, and that was actually just with Shirakan cannon. Yeah, there was the kind of my slightly less powerful death jester that's in the transport there. It was dumb luck. Yeah,
dumb luck, yeah.
He got some good rolls.
Needed 2s to save.
That's right, and you rolled 3
ones.
3 1. Oh, terrible, you poor thing. I actually feel sorry for the Space Marines there, and you won't hear that very often from me, let me tell you. The jet bikes took out the Reavers over here with the help of the transport. The chaplain was taken out in short order there by the troop that was accompanying the Shadow Seer. Everything here, everything attacked the bikes that I was so scared of, and I put far too much firepower into there when I should have really been putting it into these guys in this building here. But hey ho, they are dead now. Opening the charge up, if I can get it, to the assault intercessors in the building there. So there we go. That's the shooting phase. Very successful from the Harlequins. After the close combat phase, just sit here because there's only one close combat. This troop master just did it all on his own. I didn't realise how good he was. Re-rolling ones to hit was very helpful, as 3 of my hits missed on the one. He re-rolls wounds anyway, so and it's 2s to wound with the with his blade or his pivotal roll. I can't remember which one it is. And he essentially wiped out the unit of Intercessor Assault Marines on his own, which was quite frightening. I admit that that intimidated me as well. However, he's a bit scared of a counterattack because he's still just a troop master. If you get enough hits through on him, he'll fall over. So he has very bravely run away using a new stratagem for the Harlequins. I can't remember what it's called. I'll try and put that on screen. Leaving the Solitaire and the troops there to hold that front. And it's on. That's it, isn't it? That's turn 3, is it?
End of turn 3.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
How many models have I killed of yours? They're over there. They're just off the board here.
Let's have a look. 2?
Yeah.
2. Yes.
How many units have you killed of mine?
4, 5?
9.
9 units.
Sorry, 10.
Yeah, but who's winning?
Me.
Yeah, you're winning. There's 40k of the future.
Yeah.
Yes?
Don't bother killing your opponent.
Don't
It's a
worry
waste
about
of time.
killing. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. So I think I have to wait till the command phase until I actually get any victory points. But I put myself in a better position. Let's put it that way to try and hoover up some victory points now. So let's hope that comes off for me. See if I can catch up. Although Warlord Zaz is very far ahead and has probably sewn the game up. So we'll see. We'll see. With a few Marines left trying to hold the line, the Stern Guard, is it Stern Guard have come forward?
Yep.
The remaining man there, and everyone behind him, which
Yep.
are what?
These are the Primaris Eradicators.
There we go, the Eradicators are going to come forward, and they're going to have a good go at that transport there, and I think they're going to make it, you know.
Me,
I'm quietly
I
confident.
doubt it.
Let's see what they can do. The Marines, everything left in the Marines, including
5, 6.
move and fire multi-melters, which is what some of the Marines are packing nowadays, have
Get
all
in.
fired. I had to use a command point to save, but I did manage to save. And I think one of the characters actually shot a bolt pistol at the transport and did actually manage to wound it. So justice at last. And we're going to close combat now as that Sturm Guard gets 2 hits, 2 wounds against the transport. We'll put it in there, shall we? There we go. You tell me. I can't see from here.
What's it save?
4 plus.
No, they both go
Both
through,
go
so
through.
it's taken 3 wounds.
3 wounds. There we go. Very good.
Okay.
Oh, so my attack's back.
Yep.
3 attacks. There you go.
What's it hit on?
It hits on 3s, I believe.
2 hit.
2 hits.
1 wound.
1 wounds. There we go. Normal save.
Dies. Yep. There we go.
Okay, very good. Wow, my vehicles are actually good in combat. So that's the end. So that's the end of combat for the Marines. It's my turn 4. That was a very quick turn. That was. The Harlequins essentially just came from everywhere on the board and descended on what's left of the Marines. They came from all the corners and killed most of them. So we've got some characters left essentially. The leader again.
Got left.
Yeah, the leader, my troop master. Absolutely nasty. I'm not regretting taking the Great Harlequin now for the 2 CPs. Really helpful for him and those around him, re-rolling ones to hit. So we've really got the damage that we want. And what do the Marines actually have left now?
4 models.
Are they all characters?
No.
One Blade Guard?
One is a Blade Guard, and the rest are all characters.
All characters, there we go. End of the 4th term, we've got concession. There's not much really the Marines can do now with the entirety of the Harlequin. I mean, at the end of there, I had 2 CP left, and actually the troop master, because he was quite injured by one of the characters who...
He'd lost 2 wounds.
He had all but 2 wounds. He'd lost 4 wounds from one of the... I think it was from the Blade Guard, in fact. He just disappeared. He broke out of combat and ran away, which he's apt to do. So yeah, not a lot of loss from the Harlequin. So
2 models.
Yeah, so it was proof of manoeuvre, but not proof of the system being that balanced in its own way. It's kind of whoever gets to strike first kills things, and then there's not much reply to it. What do you think?
No, I completely disagree. I think its Harlequins are broken.
Wow. Again, I think if you ask the multitudes, they may disagree. Are they a top tier army in 9th Ed? I don't know. I think Harlequin jet bikes are excellent.
I would say that's what won you the 2 characters.
Yep.
And the Harlequin jet bikes are what won you the game.
And I've got to say, that's not my favourite way of playing.
No.
Hero Hammer's not for me. So, Warlord Zaz's opinion, Harlequin's broken. I'm not so sure. I find them very hard to use.
My only hope of winning the game was holding both objectives.
Yeah,
for
which you
long
seem
enough to win.
to do. I was absolutely losing hope in the first 2 turns of ever recovering any victory points because you were just winning them all the time.
Yeah.
I think I got to turn 3 and I hadn't got any victory points yet.
No.
I didn't even start scoring them till turn 3, did I?
No.
You had run away with it till then. I mean, that's something about the game that I've just learned.
I could have won this game
Yeah.
by putting my Reavers over here with everything else.
Yep.
And a squad of my Primaris Inceptors gain off there.
Yep.
Held everything back here more.
Yep.
And let you kill me.
And I wouldn't have come near you.
Well, you'd eventually
I'd have been
have
too scared. Well, yeah, I would have been too
even
scared
if you'd
too.
have attacked all of that from turn 1, by turn 5 I could have had a model or 2 left, but be up enough on victory points for it not to matter.
Yeah, I would have tried to pot shot you That's all I should have done. Try and
you would have
outrange
gone
you.
too pot shots. And
right.
if you'd have done that because you weren't playing aggressively enough, I'd have won on victory points and still lost 80% of my army.
Yeah, so Vanguard Tactics was saying, I was looking at them on Tinternet yesterday, and they were saying anything you can do for victory points is the way to do it now. You give away models, doesn't matter, it's for victory points. If you cast a psychic power and get a victory point in reply for it, it's worth it. I messed up really in taking a secondary where you cast a psychic power, in that I think I only did it once in the whole game, but you know, that's a learning experience. So, what do we think of 9th Ed so far?
Slightly less broken than 8th.
Right.
One more energy and I can
Is the system not that different?
Right, yes, no, I'm thinking it's more 8.25. So do we have advice for a Marine starting out on their career as they clutch their plasma grenade, as they clutch their...
Don't fight Harlequins.
Don't fight Harlequins, there we go. Sage advice
Yeah,
from the Blood Angels. Take care, everyone.